A signature system is what makes your coaching business more successful, more scalable, more profitable, and more in demand. It also helps you deliver better results. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to design a signature system for your coaching business. Let's go. In this video, I'm going to start by defining what a signature system is, sharing some of the benefits of it, and then we're going to dive into an actual example of how to do it here on my handy flip chart. A signature system is essentially a standardized process that you use to deliver the results and the transformation for your coaching business. It also helps to make your results more replicatable and sustainable over time so that you're not reinventing the wheel with each and every client. How having a signature system helps you is that it helps you become known for something specific and become known for being able to deliver consistent results. It also gives you an air of credibility. There's a big difference between being a business coach, for example, and being the creator of the Superstar Activator system or the Retreats to Riches roadmap or the Superstar Business Breakthrough model. One of my clients, she was a fitness coach and she competed in the industry with a lot of other fitness coaches, and she developed a program called the Divorce Body Workout. So that's a way of separating herself from all the other competition. And it's also the foundation of being able to transfer your knowledge to other people. So for example, if you don't want to be the coach forever and ever, amen, and you have a vision where perhaps you have other coaches, other trainers, other facilitators doing the work for you, well then having a signature system makes it easy to codify your work and transfer it to those other people and make sure that your brand is protected because they are still able to deliver results just like you were. Ultimately, a signature system is also the basis for any sort of certification or licensing model, which really allows you to scale your business big. Think of the biggest people in our space, people like Mike Michalowicz with his Profit First system. Think of Gino Wickman with his Traction system, or Sally Hogshead with her Fascination Advantage system. They're all signature systems which have allowed them to pull themselves out of the day-to-day coaching and consulting in their business and allow others to do it for them, which means they can make a whole lot more money in a whole lot less time. Although, by the way, I know 2 out of those 3 people and they all work really hard. All right, so let's go over here to the flip chart and play with this a little bit. I use something called the mind map. I'm sure you've heard of this before, but just in case you haven't, a mind map is just a way of doing brainstorming or dumping a lot of information in one place. And I often start with a mind map for most things. So with this, what we're going to do is we're going to draw in the center of this circle the transformation that we want to achieve. So for example, I'm going to use it as an example. I think it'll be a lot easier. I'm going to use myself as an example since I know my business the best. So in here, the transformation that we want is to help a superstar monetize their content in new ways, specifically through retreats and having a big back end. And if you don't know what all that's about, then go check out some of my other videos. I teach people a lot about how to build a big back end for their speaking or coaching business. This is the transformation. I want to help people monetize their thought leadership, their intellectual property. So let's just look at the universe of everything that needs to happen for them to do that. Well, we have to design a really solid business model, right? Another thing that matters to me, because this is the way I operate, I want to make sure that I understand somebody's personality and their identity, their sense of self, so that I can create alignment with whatever they're doing in their business. Another thing we've got to look at is people's brand. And by the way, inside the brand are things like their images, their website, right? Their signature system, which is what we're talking about here. Oh, we also have to look at marketing. That's a big, big piece, right? How are you going to be a successful thought leader if you're not marketing your services? Oh, that brings us to sales, right? Gotta master the art of sales. There's a whole operational piece here about how to deliver your services. Oh, and you know what? None of this really works if we don't look at what kind of lifestyle you want to lead. Like, how much money do you want to make? Do you want to travel or not travel? You know, what are your values? Let's actually look at that. Let's put that into here with identity. Let's call them values, right? And we'll call the lifestyle, we'll call that your vision for how you want to live and what you want to create. I think we've got a pretty good sense here of most of the pieces. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add here mindset, like money mindset and, you know, dealing with limiting beliefs, and let's call them beliefs and patterns, right? All those types of things. So now we have a really good sense of everything or most of the things, and I'm sure it could flesh out a whole bunch more here, but you get the idea. Now let's go in with a different color, and we're going to organize this. And I'm going to look at this, and based on my experience of leading my clients, and this is why it's my signature system, I'm going to say, where do I need to start? What's the absolute fundamental first thing that we need to do? And if I look at everything here, I would say the first thing is this. So I'm going to put a 1 on that. And now you don't have to not every signature system has to be in order, right? But mine, there is an order of operations that ideally happens. But you might find, no, all 5 of these things are important and it doesn't matter the order that you do them in. That's great. Then you don't need to order them that way. You can order them another way, which I'll talk about towards the end of the video. So the first thing we got to do is this. We got to know who we are, what we love, what we value. And then from there, that's going to inform us and help us figure out, well, what's my vision? What's my lifestyle? How do I want to live? You know, how do I want to operate? And what kind of a lifestyle do I want to have? That's going to be number 2, because that's going to determine a lot of this other stuff. So that's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to say the third thing that matters, it's kind of a tie between brand and business model, right? Are we going to look at how we're going to make money and operate, or are we going to look at the core brand? I'm going to go ahead and say, let's go with brand here third, but I could easily do business model next. So the brand, now that I know who I am, right, let's call this who, right? And let's call this maybe why, why I'm doing this work, because this is how I want to live. And then let's talk about the brand is sort of like the combination of this who and why for the world. So this is going to determine how we show up into the world. So that's kind of, I don't really have a who, why, it's part of the what kind of. Then I'm going to say, let's go ahead and say this business model piece is next, because from there we can determine, all right, what products and services do we want to sell to the world? And then, of course, marketing is going to come from there, and then sales. Now, I forgot about operations and mindset. I didn't forget about them, but here's what I'm thinking. I think operations is maybe something that it gets woven through marketing, it gets woven through the business model, and it gets woven through the branding process. So that might be either woven through, or that could even be a final step. I could call that step 7, that you really bring a lot of awareness to ops when you're ready to scale the business and you're creating systems and processes to leverage and scale the business. So I could put that as number 7. But you're getting some sort of sense of this being a signature system. I think that there's a mindset component inside each of these things. So I'm going to take another color and I'm going to put mindset like in everything. So there's going to be a mindset component inside each and every one of these. Now, that's your signature system, and it could just be as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, before I tell you what else we can do with this, why don't I ask you to take a moment and please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Love to hear what you're thinking about this below. All right, so let's keep going. The next thing we could do is we could take this whole model and stick it into some sort of image or visual or structure. There are certain structures that work really well a lot. I like pyramids because they have 3 sides. Another thing you can do with pyramids is you can create levels, kind of like if you've ever heard about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where you have these lower levels that the upper levels sit on top of. You've got circles that you could divide into little pies if they're of an equal importance. You can have a pathway, right, with steps along the path, right? There's lots of different shapes that you can use. You can have quadrants for 4 things, right? And quadrants work really well if you have like a category here, a category here, a category here, and you want to map these 4 pieces together, right? But what I used for my model is I went ahead and I used a triangle with the hierarchical structure. So I put the who at the bottom, kind of like an iceberg. That was my inspiration, an iceberg, right? This is what's under the surface of the iceberg, and then this sits on top of that. And then there's the water line, and this is the stuff that you actually see in the world. You see the brand, you see the business model. You don't necessarily see your personality. So that's the model that I used for my signature system, and I'm excited to see what you come up with for your signature system. Oh, and I almost forgot. If you don't have steps, you can use something else. A lot of people like to use acronyms. So I have a different model. This is for something different, and I use an acronym. I'm going to put it right over here, ALMA, which is in Spanish, alma means soul, and you know I do work in both English and Spanish. But A stands for alignment, L stands for leadership, M stands for magnetization, A stands for amplification, and this is the process of basically of self-expression in the world. So you could take maybe the first letters of each of the pieces of your system and make an acronym with it that's meaningful to you. So that's another way to create a signature system. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to go deeper and work with me and my team personally to develop your business signature system, your business model, your sales and marketing strategies, then go to superstarbusinessbreakthrough.com. That is my signature event that I do a few times a year, and I'd love to connect with you about it.